Welcome to Fitness by Design. This is the podcast where we engineer optimal health, energy, and confidence for corporate men just like you, without having to sacrifice any career success or family time. I'm your host, Coach Spencer, and today we are diving into something that every guy listening has wrestled with at some point in time, and that is balance. So let me ask you this. Do you feel like you're crushing it at work, you're hitting your deadlines, and you're keeping up with your family? But then when it comes to your own health, there's just nothing left in the tank for it? You find yourself waking up tired, just dragging yourself through every single day. And then when you finally get home, you're just crashing on the couch every night, telling yourself, well, I'll start again on Monday. And then you just fall off track again the next weekend. Have you ever thought to yourself, like, man, if I had more time, like I would be in so good a shape, like I'd be in the best shape of my life if I just had more time? Well, here's the truth. Balance isn't actually about finding more time because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's about figuring out a way to make the time that you already have work better for you. And by the end of this episode, I'm going to make sure that you know exactly how to break free from that all or nothing cycle that's keeping you stuck, create a true work-life fitness balance without having to sacrifice your career or your family time, and being able to build a sustainable system that actually fits inside of your life and your schedule. So if that sounds good, let's dive in. Now, let's be real. What does balance really look like? Now, for years, I thought balance was a complete and utter myth. I remember being super deep inside of a grind phase in my engineering job. I was managing massive projects. I was hitting super tight deadlines stacked up on a Friday night and just trying to keep up with a social life anywhere in between. And all along, I just kept thinking to myself, like, there's no way that I can be doing all of this and still have time to go to the gym and eat right. And honestly, I'm betting that that's probably where a lot of you are right now. Because the fitness industry just makes it feel impossible to get in shape unless you're able to sacrifice literally everything in your life. It's constantly just pushing these crazy diets like keto and 75 hard and carnivore and all this other crap. 2-hour workouts, going to the gym twice to do cardio, and then just doing endless amounts of cardio when you do have to do it. I personally have done those sessions where it's 2 a day, 55-minute cardio sessions. Like, nobody has time for that. And ultimately, it just makes you feel like that's the only way that you can actually get results. And here's the thing, those extreme methods don't work long term. Because if they did, wouldn't you be in the best shape of your life already? Balance is not about spending more time in the gym or more time in the kitchen or more chicken, rice, and broccoli in your meal prep. It's about creating systems that actually allow you to see success without having to completely flip your life upside down. Whether it's in the gym, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, it doesn't matter. If you're able to find that system, you can do it all without burning yourself out. And we talked all about burnout in last week's episode. So let me tell you about my man, Jake. Jake's an IT engineer, and when we first connected, he was in pretty bad shape. He was struggling to just keep up with the physical demands of his day-to-day life. He would find himself losing his breath walking up just a single flight of stairs to get into his apartment. And as a guy who spent long hours sitting at a desk, he was starting to feel that toll. Not just on his body, but his energy was tanking, his confidence was not there at all, and his mood was just lethargic almost. And ultimately, Jake said to me when we talked, he's like, I've never really been able to put the time and effort into my fitness. I don't really know what to do in the gym. I kind of know how to eat good, but like it's not working. And he just felt like he was just running on a hamster wheel and he was just tired of it. Does that sound familiar to you? Because what Jake didn't realize is that the problem wasn't that he was able and willing to put in effort. It was the strategy that he was attempting to take to get to the result. He was following all that advice that was just not built for corporate life. Jake didn't need to work harder. He needed to work smarter. So out of the gate, Jake jumped into one of my 14-day challenges and immediately started to see results. He lost 4 pounds in the first 14 days with me. Once he finally became a VIP client, here's what we did. We started out nearly doubling his calories. We found out that Jake was just severely under-eating, which was absolutely tanking his energy and realistically wasn't even giving his metabolism enough of a shot to try to lose weight, even though he was in a calorie deficit. So by giving him permission to actually eat more food, we were able to rev up his metabolism. Think of it like if you poured lighter fluid on a dying fire. And ultimately that gave him the fuel that he needed to show up stronger in the gym and at work. We started doing efficient workouts. Instead of telling Jake, hey man, you got to go to the gym 6 days a week, twice a day. You got to do an hour-long strength training session followed by an hour of cardio, and then you got to go back later in the day and do another hour of cardio. Does that sound good? But that's what you hear online, and that's kind of what he thought this was going to be. We ended up just having him do 45-minute strength workouts in his apartment gym 3 times a week. That was it. And then lastly, we just focused on sustainable habits. Focusing on just building those small and actionable habits, things like prioritizing protein in his meals, making sure that he was drinking his water throughout the day, and making sure that he was taking extra steps whenever he had the chance. All these things just fit seamlessly into his day because it wasn't totally out of his norm to just increase what he was already doing. And ultimately, the result was that Jake was able to drop 20 pounds in 16 weeks, ending up nearly double the amount of calories that he was eating before. And most importantly, he didn't feel stuck anymore. His energy was starting to increase. He was starting to crush it at work. He was finishing up his dual major and absolutely killing it at school. And when he came home at the end of every single day, he finally had the bandwidth to actually enjoy his evenings. So Jake is just proof that balance isn't about actually sacrificing. It's just finding that alignment to fit inside of your life. And that's ultimately the thing that most fitness programs get wrong. They treat fitness, specifically corporate fitness, like it just exists in this vacuum, this kind of cookie cutter plan. Like you can just add it on top of your already packed life without having any consequences across the board. And as a corporate guy, we don't have the luxury of just making fitness a full-time job. We've got deadlines to hit, we have meetings to attend, and we have people counting on us at work and at home to make sure that we are showing up the best that we possibly can be. So if you've been trying to piece together these random workouts or cutting calories to the extremes or cutting out carbs, following some influencer's 6-pack abs program, let me ask you this. How's that working out for you, man? Because if it hasn't started working yet, it's probably not going to. And even if it does, it's not going to last forever. Because what you need isn't just more effort and cutting more things out and spending more time in the gym and doing all these extra things. It's just having a better strategy that actually friggin' works for your life. So let me break this down for you into 3 incredibly simple steps that you can literally start the second that you stop listening to this episode. The first thing is just build a meal system that actually works for you. No more chicken, rice, and broccoli meal prep that you see all over these bodybuilders' pages. Real balance is talking about eating foods that you actually enjoy while still hitting your goals. So just pick 2 to 3 meals that you absolutely love and you know you could eat at any point in time. For me, that's spaghetti and meatballs because as an Italian, pasta obviously has to be in my reservoir. And ultimately what you're going to do with those meals is you're just going to rotate them throughout the week. Now, I suggest keeping it a little bit more simple than I do. Think of things like having grilled chicken wraps or some type of turkey chili or even lean ground beef. You could even do overnight oats. I personally don't love overnight oats. The texture kind of messes with me a little bit. But think of those meals that you know that you could eat every single day of the week and never get sick of, and just make sure that you include those inside of your daily meal plan. And then always have a backup plan. For me, the easiest thing in the world to do if you are in a pinch is literally go to your local grocery store, pick up a rotisserie chicken. That rotisserie chicken, when you break it down, is going to end up giving you around 3 to 4 full meals worth of chicken. And then you can literally grab a bag of steamable vegetables, whatever you like. I always just go with mixed veggies so that I get a little bit of everything. And then you can grab microwave rice or even like a quinoa type of bag. In 5 minutes, there's no excuse. You've now packaged 3 to 4 meals for the week. And then when it comes to your workouts, you want to focus on quality over quantity. So you don't need to be going to the gym 6-7 days a week to see results. 3 45-minute sessions is really all that you need to be able to get done. And you want to focus on compound movements like your squats, your deadlifts, or your rows, because those are going to give you the most bang for your buck. But if you're only going to go 3 times a week, I highly recommend focusing on a full body workout split. So you're going to hit every muscle group 3 times a week. If you're able to go 4 times, I would move more towards an upper lower. So you're going to do everything above your waist, your chest, your back, your shoulders, your biceps, your triceps on day 1 and day 4. And then on days 2 and 5, you want to do your legs. So your quads, your hamstrings, your calves, all those things, that gives you an upper lower split. And that's still 4 days a week. And if you're really short on time, getting in a 20-minute workout is going to be better than just completely skipping your workout entirely, because the key is consistency. Now, part of being inside of the VIP program with me is that if you are only working out 3 to 4 days a week, you have the flexibility to just move it around. If you have an in-person trainer, you can't just call your trainer and say, hey man, I don't have time today. Can we move the session to tomorrow without getting charged? Versus an online program like mine, you're able to just move things around. And you'll hear it from some of my clients over the course of this podcast, how much they love the flexibility of being able to move their workouts around during the program. And the biggest piece here is actually just shifting your mindset. So this is really a game changer and something that I've really focused on myself. And that is stop thinking of fitness as an extra thing that you have to fit in whenever you have that time. Because ultimately, your health is the foundation of everything in your life. And if you don't have health, you're never going to be able to do anything else. So it becomes that foundation that makes everything else in your life better. When you prioritize your health, you show up stronger and better for everybody in the office, at home, in your relationships, everywhere. So now let me ask you, what would it mean to your career if you had 30% more energy every day? What would it mean for your family if you weren't exhausted every night sitting on the couch? What would it mean for you if you felt confident and in control of your health again? Balance is not about doing more, man. It is about doing what matters most. So if Jake can lose those 20 pounds, eating more than he ever has before, what's stopping you from taking that next step? So I want to invite you to join my Metabolic Jumpstart Challenge today. This is a 7-day Metabolic Jumpstart Challenge. And for being a listener of the Fitness by Design podcast, I'm going to throw in a bonus 7 days of trainings for free if you use the link in the description. And in just 14 days, you will learn how to lose weight, increase your energy, build more confidence, and ultimately create that system that works for your life, including meal plans, including workouts, including everything that you need to succeed for 14 days. So click the link in the description or DM me the word challenge on Instagram at Spencer H. Gallo to get started now. And remember, your health does not have to compete with your success. It can fuel it. So thanks for tuning into Fitness by Design, and I'll see you in the next episode.